أو زد عليه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brothers and sisters. Welcome back to another episode of the Know Your Tajweed series. And on today's episode, we'll be taking another 5 letters. And inshallah ta'ala, we'll be looking at the difference between the letters and how they look. Okay, the first letter, za, za, za. See the common mistake of pronouncing the letter dhal, which we looked at in the last week's episode. The last episode, the letter we looked at, dhal, there's a common mistake that is pronounced as z, like the Z sound. This is the letter that should be pronounced like that. Za, 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 and this is an empty mouth letter. The next letter, sin, 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 is the same way you say the word S-E-E-N in English. Sin, sin, sin. The next letter, shin, shin, the same. It looks similar with the previous letter, but this one has 3 dots above. It's pronounced the same way, but instead of an S sound, as an SH sound. Shin, shin, shin. It's like your shin, the shin, but with a stretch on it. Shin, shin. The next letter, sod, sod, sod. This is also a full mouth letter. These two couple of letters and the letters, the two to follow after, are one of the hardest letters to pronounce in the Arabic alphabet. So it needs a little practice. If you don't get it in the first day, don't be worried, because it's normal. It's not an easy letter to grasp. Sod, sod. The next letter, bod, bod, bod. Many argue that this is the hardest letter to pronounce in the Arabic alphabet. Bod, bod. It should not be pronounced as the dal. It should not be pronounced as dad or dod. It's a place it should be pronounced from. Bod. And the difference between sod and bod is that bod has a dot above it and sod has no dot. The letters we're dealing with are za, za. You see, we've mentioned in the previous episode that one letter is pronounced wrongly most of the time, which is dhal. It's pronounced as za. This is the letter to be pronounced like that, like the Z sound. Za, 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 za. Then sin, 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 sin. Then shin, shin, shin. Then sod, sod. As you can see, it's like there's a bubble on the side when I say it. Sod. That shows it's easy. Some people find it easier to pronounce from this side, some people on this side, and some people find it easier to pronounce from the middle. But it's pronounced like on the side of the mouth. Sod, sod. Make sure your tongue doesn't go in between your teeth. Your tongue should not touch the upper part of your teeth, this side. Sod, sod. If you're saying sword, if your mouth is going round, you're pronouncing it wrongly. It shouldn't be sword, but sword. Your mouth should be open while you're saying. It's a full mouth letter, but your mouth should not go up when you're saying. Sword, sword. The next letter, bod, bod, bod. This letter is also, the tongue shouldn't go in between the teeth. The tongue should go on the upper part of the palate. Bod, 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 bod. The tongue looks like it's coming between the teeth, but it is actually not going between the teeth, because if it goes between the teeth, you'll be pronouncing a different letter, which is the, which will come on to the next episode, inshallah ta'ala. The letter is pronounced bod, 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 bod. Here, the side of the tongue and the top of the palate. Bod, bod. Inshallah, if you don't get it on the first time, inshallah ta'ala, you get it in the future. Practice makes perfect, and it's not an easy letter to pronounce. And inshallah, with practice, you pronounce it fine, inshallah ta'ala. So the letters we've done today are za, sin, shin, sad, and dad. The difference between ra and za is that ra has no dot and za has a dot above. And sin has no dots and shin has 3 dots above. let's know that because they really look similar, especially in the Quran. Jazaakumu'Allahu Khayr. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.